Hello and good morning. Today we will present our presentation for the subject AFT1023 Foundation of Management. Before we start, I will introduce our group member.
I'm Muhammad HAZIQ.
Hi, I am Nuril Izieyati.
Hi, I am Muhammad HAZWAN ARIF.
Hi, my name is FATINI Binti AMIN.
Hi, I am AZIENAJIHA.
Okay, so here today I will tell you about a presentation about management. Okay, first thing first, for the introduction management. In management, there has 4 component parts which is so important, which is planning, organizing, leading and also controlling. This activity can help the organization to manage their company with nice plan for the future in order to the company to achieve their objective and they are successful in future. So for the industry progress, management also be known as the act of getting people together to accomplish the desired goals and the activity objective using available resources efficiently and effectively. So the process of the management is really useful for the organization. Okay, in this first question, which is general view of management theory, basically there has 3 management theory that our group will discuss and story. So in this part I will tell about 2 management theory and the other one my friend will tell. Okay, for the first one is classical management theory. The classical management theory is based on the belief that workers only have physical and economic needs. It does not take into account social needs or job satisfaction, but instead of it advocates a specialization of labor, centralized leadership and decision making, and also the profit maximization. Okay, in this concept there has 3 kind of important thing that has on the classical management theory, which is hierarchical structure, specialization and also incentive. Okay, for the hierarchical structure, the management has divided into 3 distinct layers of management, which is in the top it is CEO, in the middle it is supervisor, and the last one which is bottom is for the employer. Okay, for the second one, which is specialization, it's like everyone has a special skills on the task that they already know what to do, so that it can help the company to improve from time to time. Okay, for the last one, which is incentive, it's like the CEO give a financial rewards to the workers so that the employee will be motivated on doing the work. So in this case, the incentive, which is example like CEO give financial reward, it can make the workers to become more spirit and energetic to the work that they have to do and what they will do. So basically these 3 components is really important in the classical management theory. Okay, for the second one, which is bureaucratic management theory. In this management theory, bureaucratic management is an ideal for organization, which is it should aim for and aspire. This management has been introduced by the theories which is developed by Max Weber. It has 2 different types of essential elements, including succession and organization into a hierarchy and having clear defined for roles in order to help the govern and organization and its member. So Max Weber has introduced 6 principles in this bureaucratic management theory. The first one is proper division of labor, chain of command, separation of personal and official property, separation of personal and official property, selection and promotion based on the qualification. This principle is really important to use for because it contains a good management, which is it can lead the company to become successful organization. So these 2 management theory has a different kind of theory, but basically these 2 theory will make the company to become successful and become a great organization in the future. So the next management theory will telling by my friends. So that's all from me. Thank you.
The next slide is about administrative management theory. In this administrative management theory, it has been introduced by Henry Fayol. Fayol was an engineer who worked his way to become manager in company France. His headquarters manages skill as administrative function. Administrative theory is also known characterized by people on the ground who share personal aspiration, improve practice, and help others to run an organization smoothly. In this theory, it will be tell about 12 principles of management. The first one is division of work. When empires are split, output can increase because they become increasingly skilled and efficient. Next, it is authority, which is the manager must have the authority to give orders. But they also must keep it in mind that with authority comes responsibility. For the third one is discipline. Discipline is so important no matter we are doing, especially when it comes to company growth. Next principle is coordination of individual interests to the general interest. The interests of one empire should not be allowed to become more important than those of the group, which is also include managers. Next, if we have two types of unity, which is unity of command and unity of direction. In unity of command, empire should have one direct supervisor, while unity of direction is the team with same objective should be working under the director of one manager by using one plan. The seventh principle is remuneration. This principle is based on empire staff position, depend on fair remuneration for everyone. As we can see on the box, the skeleton also has been put on the principle and evidentiary theory. Empires should be aware of where they stay in the organization hierarchy of chain of community. Besides that, on the next principle is order. The workplace facility must always be clean, tidy, and safe for empire to use. Next is stability of tenure of personnel. In this principle, managers should strive to minimize empire through turnover. Next one is initiative. All empires should have been given the necessary level of freedom to create and carry out plans. Last but not least, for the principle on arbitrary theory is prior decops. Organizations should try to promote team spirit and unity. We will go into scientific management theory. Scientific management is the main objective to improve economic efficiency. This is a theory of management with analysis and synthesis work form. Scientific management theory is very functional for economy, especially in labor productivity, because it is the one of earliest enters to the engineering of process to management.
Hi, I'm going about to present about the question 2. Identify and discuss the major contribution and drawback of classical management theory. The first contribution of classical management theory is clear hierarchical structure. The classical management structure is an organizational hierarchy with three different levels of management. That is, each management group has its own objective and responsibilities. Top level management, such as the CEO or chief executive officer, who is responsible for the long-term goals of the organization, such as making all the plans to the organization for the future. The middle management versus supervisors, setting departmental goals according to approved estimate. And the lower level management, the lower level is the like supervisor who oversees the daily activities, deal with employee problems, and provide training to employees and care about the welfare of each employee. The second contribution is the clear division of labor. One of the contribution of the classical management approach is the division of labor. Each project and part of the work is broken down into a smaller task that is easy to complete. Responsibilities and expectations to employees are clearly defined because they are already divided. The third contribution is that workers are seen as economic human beings and money as a motivator. Employees should be motivated by monetary rewards and the like. They will work harder and be more productive if they have incentives and goals to look forward to. This provides easier workforce management as there is no need to power. The fourth contribution is the only leader who makes the decision. Autocratic leadership is a central part of the classical management theory, which states that organizations have only a single leader to make any decision to organize and direct employees. This is to facilitate all the activities carried out in the following organization because all decisions are made by the top level only. The fifth contribution is the organizational efficiency can be enhanced by increasing the efficiency of each individual. Individual competencies can be enhanced by sending employees to training institutions to learn knowledge and technique to improve their competencies. On the other hand, employee exchange that are often done by organizations such as companies in Malaysia exchange the employees with companies from Japan for the purpose of increasing the efficiency and knowledge of employees. And then we go to drawback section. The first weakness of classical management theory is that creates stress and workload among employees. This is because it refers to money as motivation to employees. While it looks good to the employees, this has put a lot of burden of them. This is because they will be given high wages doing a lot of work alone. The second advantage of classical management theory is that it is based only on the best method and can be applied to a simple organizational structure. It does not fit into today's complex structure. More precisely, this theory can only be a guide in the present and cannot make it a cornerstone in today's organization. This is because classical management theory is only applicable to modern organizations. The third drawback of the classical management theory is that it only focuses on individual performance of employees and categorizes them into the efficient and inefficient. These two categories are very limited to employees because employees who are categorized as the inefficient must always be in the office and have a higher rank, while incompetent employees are often composed as officers as production operators who have low rank and do not have high academics. And the fourth drawback of classical management theory is that it kills employees' creativity and cause frustration among employees. This is because they are more concerned with profits and the amount that can be processed by employees without caring about the creativity of the employees. Thank you.
Question 3. Express your view on the relevance of classical management theory to today's work content. Scientific management. Many of guidelines and technique that tailor and device for improving production infection are still used in organization today. For example, manager analyze the basic work tests that must be performed, use time and emotion study to eliminate wasted motion, hire the best qualified workers for a job or design incentive system based on output that using of the principle of management. Taylor also developed 4 principles for history of scientific management. Number 1 is methodology. This is because methodology is the best performed each test. 2. Manager. Manager should make sure the best person is picked to perform the task and ensure that he or she get the best training. 3. Responsible management should responsible for ensuring that the best person selected for the job does by applying the best methodology. 4 is responsible for all the work. At the time of Taylor, manager believed that workers were lazy and work slowly, inefficiently in order to protect their job. His theory also became very popular as its application was to show to lead. Scientific management is management theory that analyzes work flows to improve economy, especially labor productivity. Next is administrative management. Administrative management theory is idea and practice can be directly traced to the contribution. Administrative management theory emphasizes on the nation of justice, which is organization and decide issue fairly. In administrative management, we have various 40 principles of management, and each of these functions describe what managers should do on day-to-day. For example, administrative management theory widely used for a setting target of an organization. It also helps to budget control. Administrative management keeps an eye on all financial transactions taking place. It decides it can be appropriate budget for accomplishing the product undertaken and ensure that all activity which is the limit of per allocate budget. Lastly, administrative management also can be team building. This is management theory to promote a sense of unity and harmony among team members working in organization. Is in place team building strategy for motivating people towards their roles. Team building also result in develop better relationship among team members relative towards company.
Discipline in working. The principle in classical management theory state that employees are expected to respect rules and maintain organizational code of conduct, and the organization needs them to validate them in order to succeed. Again, many organizations today have clear and often documented rules, regulations, and guidelines regarding employee behavior because managers who are aware of disciplinary center are for an organization. This view may be rooted in classical management theory. Each useful guide can be practiced to facilitate and benefit all employees as well as managers for the users of an organization. A good management system will instill the nature of discipline in every employee. This principle supports that the right place and discipline must be given to all and practiced by all in order for it to succeed in an organization. In other words, the jobs assigned to certain workers must be assigned to the workers who will use them. Modern organizations today can be put to good use, and using these colors, and also modern organizations today have been successful. Based on result. Workers should be paid based on how much output they produce. This is done using payment. The use of a piece salary focuses employees' attention on their productivity. If they don't produce abundant and quality productivity, then they will not earn the payment that they deserve. Based on classical management theory, the way a person works can change. This is also the same as salary based on result. This recommends that employees receive payment for their service that is fair to individuals and organizations. This approach helps in streamlining jobs nowadays. Currently, employees will be paid based on their income that they earn. Good management can help between employees as well as manager. Emphasize that classical management theory has successful form so that wages are paid based on employee productivity results and show justice for all employees. Conclusion: this classical management theory seems to be applicable to all sectors, whether manufacturing, mining, or production. Since this theory assumes that employees have no social or self-actualization needs, this does not help top management to get a 360-degree view of the job. An important aspect of this classical management theory involves effort in training the spirit of leadership at the secondary and senior levels to effect change. This is also that they can train the people under them and turn an organization into a company ready for the future. A good management training helps resolve conflict between departments and also employees. Practicing it will also help solve the problem of slow growth, income visibility, and all the other problems faced by the organization during time of recession.
That's all for us. Thank you.